I adore the typical Dutch landscape. I love the open space, a lot of sky and a simple horizon. This time my inspiration to paint is one project of one artist, just after this. Hi there, my name is Albert van der Zwart. Welcome to Imperfect Paintings, where it's all about improving your painting skills by looking at art yourself and the world around you. Some time ago I bought this book about the Zon, Maan, Wolken project, or Sun, Moon, Clouds, from the Dutch artist Anke Roder. I've put a link in the description to her website. She painted the landscape around her hometown in the north of the Netherlands, close to the Waddenzee. Over the course of a year she made every day one painting, capturing and researching the changing light over the year. These images are examples of the artwork from her project. I always love it when artists find their ultimate way of working and are able to produce endless amounts of stunning artwork. As a painter, I could try to mimic her artwork, but I will take a different direction. I will use my fingers to paint. First the technical part. I raise the surface of the table by about 30 centimeters. I try out a different setting to see how my camera will show what I do. I use a leftover piece of paper to test, and I notice the size of the paper is too big for this way of painting. So I take another piece and cut it into pieces of 10 by 15 centimeters or 4 by 6 inches, postcard size paper. It works better, but the paper seems to have a non-slip surface. With brushes I don't notice this, but now it disturbs my flow of painting and it takes too much energy. I take a 50 by 65 centimeter sheet I normally use and apply a thin layer of white paint using a credit card to create a smoother surface. When dry, I cut it into 10 by 15 centimeter pieces and continue painting. The smoother surface is nice to work on. This way of painting may at first look messy. Your fingers get dirty, as you can see. And the result doesn't look as smooth as the artwork of Anke Roder I showed you at the beginning. But I don't mind. Touching the paint with my fingers is a nice tactile sensation. It also takes me out of my mind and is in a way soothing as well. And the size of the paper calms me down because it isn't that challenging to conquer. Do try this yourself too. No matter what you create, it can be an interesting experience. Through this way of painting, I have to face my ideas about what color belongs where. Can I use the color red in the sky or at the bottom? All the things I use in this video and also the links I mention are in the description below. Don't forget to clean your tablecloth in between, or the surface you work on. This summer I noticed the flowers next to the bike lane in a different way. When I kneel down, my perspective changes, and by doing so, I found a solution to my question about the use of strange colors in an abstract landscape painting. Just as changing weather, the seasonal changes and a different time of day shows different colors. These shots of the Dutch landscape, a lot of foreigners probably recognize as typical Dutch. Also interesting colors for my landscape, although these are only a few weeks per year visible. Sometimes there is still a little bit of color on my fingers from before and it gives a little accent here and there. Very often I call this happy accidents, just another way to look at stains or messing up. I often show the landscape on the way to my day job. I especially love to be able to look around for miles and the sky above me gives me a sense of freedom. Because I cycle to work, I can stop at any moment to take pictures. Lots of artists play with color and the horizon, like Pat de Groot, who painted the sea around Provincetown in the USA. Or the artist Marco Crivello in his Resonance series. When you make a lot of paintings like this, it's interesting to think of other ways to paint, like tapping with your fingers or using your other hand. At the moment I'm also working on my Mondrian video. Link up here for an invitation to paint like Piet Mondrian and submit your artwork to be included in my video. I look a lot at the Mondrian artwork and in his earlier years he made these abstract paintings of the sea using strange colors and for this one of the dunes by the sea as well. This one by another Dutch painter, Edgar Fernhout, is also an atypical view called Sea in the Morning. While working this way, I also think about other options, other tools, so I decide to do a little experiment. So I first apply a layer of wet white paint to play in. How could the image change using a palette knife? Or a 10mm brush. Or a piece of scrub sponge. And of course they all look different because you can't replicate everything exactly. But doing an experiment like this can help to decide what way of working shows what effect. Again a little sidestep to this Dutch landscape artwork Rhine 2 by the German photographer Andreas Gursky. To give you an idea of the dimensions, here he is standing next to it. The image resembles my idea of a Dutch landscape, although the artist altered the image a lot. Link up here for an interesting video someone made about how the image possibly changed. And another video with more information about the interesting artwork of Gursky. At first his artwork seemed completely normal to me, until I took another look. I have no idea of dimension. There's not a single tree, church tower or whatever on the horizon to help me. Although this would almost be impossible in our densely populated country. I had to take a few pictures to get one without a car on it. Do you see the trees and the houses? And here my version of the Gursky artwork. And now I've created these 15 pieces. Together they look marvelous. I made 15 more, and these also look nice. But although some of them may not look that magical at all, when treating them right and letting them shine, they all make an impact. So before throwing away your artwork because it doesn't match the image or idea in your head, please think twice. Perhaps this new way of looking at your artwork can be an inspiration to create new artwork, or interesting Christmas cards to send to your loved ones. Or perhaps it's an idea for a fun activity during an online call with your kids or grandchildren. Click on the link and I will see you over there in the next video.